This is De Leon Dantes, the Resilient Philosopher, and I am coming today to announce, yes, our new name, the Resilient Philosopher. We have decided to take upon this name after the release of my first book, The Resilient Mind, Leadership Lessons from the Edge of Mental Health, which is now available, by the way, on Amazon, hardcover, paperback, and Kindle. And right now, for Kindle Unlimited members, you can read it for free. Now, why the change of names? And you will see throughout the history of all our episodes the different names. Well, we have grown and we don't have the resources for major research when it comes to marketing. So in the past, we chose the name based on our website or based on just family name related. And recently, I started a newsletter on LinkedIn under the name The Resilient Philosopher, and it was well accepted. And after that, I realized it was time to change the name of the podcast. And let's see, it's also the name of my second book, which I'm already writing, The Resilient Philosopher. It's based on my life, it's based on my philosophy. How did I acquire it? And it will touch every aspect of life. It would touch between regular life, home, work. It would touch on my ideologies when it comes to my theories when it comes to um, spiritual, political, and economical. And also it would touch on Stoicism, the works of the greats like Carl Jung, Bertrand Russell, and Viktor Frankl would also be part of the things that I'll be touching in that book. So I am looking forward for the release of that book, and I will work on adding more. The Resilient Mind is going to be uh, basically a workbook. It's going to be something that hopefully people can use to teach or to learn leadership skills. So the first book is kind of small, was just to touch bases to see uh, how well people will like it. So far, I've gotten good feedback from it. The only thing that people have said is, we want more. It needed to be a little bigger, it needed to be a little longer, more details. But like I said, it was just a trial, basically. The second book will be more in depth and there will be more revisions through time, or perhaps even a series out of that one as well. But the main thing is, like I've said before, we never can aim to become experts. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth. And due to that, we need to focus on continue learning. And when you do that, you end up noticing that there were previous points that you were wrong. And now a fool will not admit to his mistakes. A wise man not only would admit it, but will rectify them. So in the case that was to happen, I would rectify whatever I got wrong in the past and will create a revision of the book if necessary. Also, as I continue my education in psychology and in computer science, I will also integrate more of that stuff as well as I have in the past. And because we talk so many different types of subjects from economics, leadership, daily life, stoicism, I decided that being called philosopher was the best way to go. As a philosopher, you are there to question. You're there to point out other angles, to think outside the box. You're not there to be a follower. You're there to be the difference. You're there to be the voice of wisdom, or not even wisdom, of reasoning, of logic, of critical thinking. So if people see things binary, you're there to remind them, no, there's another level, there's another place. There's multiple possibilities. Things just don't happen two ways. It can happen multiple ways. And that's the way I've always been. The further I study, the further I researched, the more I noticed the philosophical point of views of mine, which have created my leadership style, my servant leadership. Um, as many good qualities that I find in other people's work, because I do, and I enjoy reading other people's work, I think true leadership requires you to make your own path. Imagine if everybody would have always taken the same path, we wouldn't have new roads. We wouldn't have new highways, new county roads, new state roads. Because for what? There's only one road to lead you to a place. So you can always get from point A to point B in multiple routes. So therefore, there has to be multiple ways of being a leader. The core message is the same. The core message is always to help others, to empower others, to help them be successful. But what makes the difference is the why. Why are you doing that? Are you doing it for self gratification, or are you doing it because you enjoy seeing other people succeed? And based on that fact, I noticed that I truly enjoy seeing other people succeed. I don't know if it is because of my mental health. I do not like being in a position of power, but I do enjoy helping others get to that position. And it gives me great reward to see when people actually get to reach their goal, where they want it to be, where they need to be at. And based on that, I decided always to stay away from acquiring a high position within any company that I work for. And yet, people were always coming to me asking for help and asking for guidance. And now, looking back, at first, I used to think, well, why do you come with me to this? There's nothing I can do. But the reality is, what they needed was somebody to listen. What they needed was somebody to say, hey, you're not wrong. Or hey, you're looking at it the wrong way. As a matter of fact, many times there were people that misunderstood the priest, for example, and would come to me very upset. Now, as a spiritualist, even if I dislike the teachings of a religion or a group or a priest, I do not try to push people away from their spirituality, because I see that it's necessary in everybody's life to have a belief, to have faith. And even after reading the work of Viktor Frankl, I realized how true it was. I mean, this man survived the Holocaust with just hope and faith to make it through. So it is very necessary not to hurt other people or disillusion them, break them away from their God, from their beliefs. And I would sit down and I would listen to them and I would try to play devil's advocate and say, well, couldn't have been that you misunderstood, or hey, better yet, you're right. The priest does not live the life that he's saying that you should live, but he will have to pay for that for God. Instead, if you do what is righteous, you will be in good terms with God. And afterwards, the person will feel a lot better and, let bygones be bygones. So that should have told me at a young age my capabilities for helping other people. Instead, I chose to be like Jonah, run away from the situation, be a different person. And unfortunately, just like Jonah, I couldn't run away far enough. I ended up coming back to helping others through this, through my writing, through the podcast. And again, my goal is simple. If I can help somebody, if I can change their life, if I can change their point of view on life, that's all I want. Money doesn't mean anything. Success is only measured, in my eyes, by how you helped others. And wealth, the only wealth you need to concern about is how much you have changed the world after you're gone. How much have you helped others achieve their true potential? That should be the biggest wealth anyone can possibly have. But I also have other announcements. For example, we are starting also a podcast just in Spanish. The name is going to be the same, but in Spanish. El Filósofo Resiliente. And we will start writing more articles in Spanish. I am also in kind of working in between translating my first book into Spanish. I'm doing it myself because we can't afford to pay nobody else. And hopefully, we will be achieving that pretty soon. The podcast in Spanish, um, hopefully, will be as well received as the one in English. I really enjoy seeing, because I can see the analytics of how many countries actually listened to the podcast, and that really encourages me to continue on. Encourages me because we have done this with nothing, and not many people perhaps can say that. And that brings me joy. It brings me joy because I know that I'm doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And that is all that I've ever inspired to do. I also would like to say that this was just a announcement episode, so it's not going to be as long as it usually is, but I felt like it was the right time to announce everything and to welcome you all to the Resilient Philosopher, our new podcast. I hope you enjoy it. I hope to hear from you guys. I hope to see comments. Like always, you can reach me at the website or my email, leodantes@visionleon.com. Also, we have our memberships or shows and Patreon, Substack, and LinkedIn. You guys can check that out as well. Those are weekly newsletters that we post. And then our website we post daily on our website. And let's do this together. Let's do this together as one. And hopefully, I'm sorry for my voice is not doing so good today, but hopefully we continue growing together. And like always, remember, every day is a great day to learn something new.